Hey guys, this is No Gym Needed coming to you again with another Dragon Ball What If video. This is What If Goku Was Born with UI, Part 2. Now before I start, I need to address some things in the comments from the first part. Now I could have found a way to make it so that Goku didn't get his power level read at all because of the God Key thing, or I could have made it to where they did test his power level and nothing came up. But the Saiyans at that time, they were pretty dumb. They would have just been like, no power level? That's really weird. Well, it obviously doesn't mean he's strong. This baby must be insanely weak. And as time went on, I think they would just more or less push him to the wayside rather than get more and more suspicious. And I just didn't think that would be a very cool storyline. But as to why I picked that whole biofeedback thing, I didn't really explain it because I didn't want to slow down the pace of the story. But I'll explain here before we start part 2. So one, it's because human babies and Saiyan babies are the same from birth. They're defenseless and unknowing. So if Goku was born with UI, it would have to have some kind of built-in defense mechanisms different than an adult who unlocks it after decades of life and death battles. But how did I come up with that? Did I just randomly think of it? No. So here's a quote from Dragon Ball Super. It was a start that lit a match of a much greater power within Goku. And that was Whis talking about his theory in reference to Goku absorbing the Spirit Bomb. Whis said that when the Spirit Bomb exploded so close to Goku, its power flowed into him and smashed into his own energy. Bear in mind, he was in Super Saiyan Blue at this time, which is very refined God Ki. This was the collision he needed to break the shell of his power, to reach a greater power that has always been locked within him. So this kind of sets a precedent because God Ki, regular Ki, and Spirit all play a role in this equation. We had a Super Saiyan Blue who was out of strength and energy. He converted a Spirit Bomb into energy to replenish his body. Then the remaining Spirit collided and exploded, making him break his limits. Now bear in mind that that's Universe's 7 Spirit, most of which had no God Ki. Did Vegeta even give any? I don't remember. But when was the Spirit Bomb learned? Back in the Frieza saga, way before God Ki. So what did we learn here? If energy can be refined into God Ki and then refined more, it would be infinitely easier to do the reverse. Imagine Gohan used all his Ki and he was dying. Don't you think UI Goku could fill Gohan up with the proper Ki for his body? I'd say absolutely. So there you go. Essentially what happened with baby UI Goku is that his UI, through biofeedback with the environment, sensed the power levels around him, sensed his own body shape and all that, and converted 0.0000 to the 1000th power 0.1% of his God Ki, his refined Ki, into regular Ki, more crude Ki, just broke it down to its basic elements, and it gave him a power level among his peers. That way, it could mask who he really was, and he could survive. And that is basically what UI does. And this naturally born version of it would have to have some sort of built-in mechanism to help a baby in its environment. Now let's get into part 2. Roshi and Gohan both let out several sighs. Then after a long breath, Gohan turns to Baba and thanks her for her help, and looks at Roshi and says, "First of all, it sure is good this child came to us and not a regular group of Earthlings." Roshi nods and agrees. "We've practiced the martial arts our whole life, old friend." Gohan looks up at the sky, then at Roshi. "Friend, maybe it was all for this day." Roshi also sighs and then says, "We sure got old, eh? And I thought I'd be able to enjoy my retirement, soak in the sun on Turtle Island and read magazines all day. Do you have a plan, Gohan?" After a long pause, "We need to go to Korin's tower. We'll likely need your abilities too, Baba," Gohan says. They rent a plane from Capsule Corp and they all go to Korin's tower. When they arrive, Roshi explains the situation to Korin, who frowns. "His power level seems meager, but why do I feel that it's a facade masking multiple other powers of untold depth?" "Can you speak, boy?" Korin asks. "Yeah," Goku replies in a rather cold voice. We can assume Goku could speak when he was 3. I did research on this, and the pod that he lands in, it's saying in Japanese, "Wake up, Kakarot," and all this stuff. If you go and watch it in English dub, it actually says, "Wake up, Kakarot, destroy all life forms. Wake up, Kakarot, destroy all life forms." And I was like, okay, let me go check the Japanese. I went and checked the Japanese, and it just says, "Megasame yo, Kakaroto." And it says that twice, which just means open your eyes, Kakarot. So the English added in a lot of stuff there, and it said destroy all life forms. But it did not say that in the Japanese. But anyways, we know Goku could talk at that time. There's no point in saying those words if he couldn't understand it. They would just make some kind of noise or something. So at the age of 3, Goku was talking, and he understood stuff. Then Korin looks at Goku. "Kid, what do you want to do? Fight us? Kill us?" "Yes," Goku replies. "I fight you. You die," Goku says. Then a voice comes out of nowhere. "Wouldn't you rather have a party and eat lots of meat or something?" It's Yajirobe. "Meat! Give me!" Goku yells. "Meat is for good boys. Are you gonna be a..." Suddenly the meat's gone and Yajirobe is startled. He sees crumbs on Goku's lips and knows Goku ate it. "Hey, punk!" Yajirobe shouts. "Give it up. You don't stand a chance against this kid's inhuman reflexes," Roshi says. Korin nods in agreement. "Korin, in your experience, is there a way to rid the boy's heart of evil?" Roshi asks. "Good and evil are just the outcomes of decisions made in a person's heart," Korin says. "The perfect place for him would be the darkness. The darkness reads hearts. It was left here by the gods, and it will show a person who they really are and who they are becoming. If they survive, their evil should be purified from their hearts." So they tell Goku there's more meat in that jar, and Goku goes through, and of course he falls down into the realm where the darkness is. He would encounter the ice monster, and it would be very difficult for him to fight it. It basically just blows snow and ice and frost at you until you freeze. That's a very powerful attack. Goku has Ultra Instinct that's largely reactionary at this point. What's he gonna do? Dodge the snowflakes and the freezing wind? That's impossible. So Goku would get a bunch of snow built on him and be freezing cold. However, he would eventually get the upper hand and beat the ice monster. After Goku struggles to overcome the ice monster, he pushes on into the darkness. The darkness looks into Goku's heart and sees his memories, struggles, and everything. Originally, Goku entered with a pure heart, so the darkness used every trick in the book to test if his heart was truly pure or if he'd kill someone to save his own life. But he didn't. So here, Goku's going down an evil path and not hiding it like those self-righteous warriors like this guy. So the darkness would instead show Goku the futility of the path he's on. And here's what happened. A bug crawls across Goku's foot. He stomps on it for crossing him. All of a sudden, Goku's looking up at a giant version of himself and realizes he's become a bug. Quickly, he realizes he's walking toward his foot, but can't stop. As he crawls onto his own foot and leg, he gets very nervous because he knows what kind of person he is. Sure enough, the giant Goku looks down at him, lifts his hand, and crushes him. Goku screams and feels pain, then opens his eyes. He's himself again. "Why'd you try to avoid the path of your feet?" the darkness says. "What? Who's there?" "When you were an insect, why did you want to avoid crawling on yourself, boy? Answer me." "Because I knew I'd die if I did. I knew that me would kill me," Goku says. Darkness replies, "That bug didn't know anything, and you killed it for that. Instead, it would have been better to teach it. Now you see there's 2 yous. Which are you?" All of a sudden, it's bright daylight all around Goku, and he sees Grandpa Gohan, Roshi, and Korin. "Hey bud, how you doing? Did you learn anything?" Roshi asks. Goku remains quiet. Then a bug suddenly crawls up Roshi's leg. Smack! Roshi smashes the bug. Annoying pest, Roshi says. Goku smiles and thinks to himself, this is the way the world is. I was right. Next, Goku goes back to thinking of ways to hurt and harm Roshi. But Roshi looks at him all of a sudden. Hey boy, what are you thinking, You want to kill me? You've still got a ways to go, boy. But since you're also gonna become a pest like that bug, I'll have to kill you now. I tried being nice, but you didn't learn a thing, Roshi says. Goku is surprised. Roshi read his mind. Then Roshi uses his electric shock technique and Goku is paralyzed. Then Roshi blitzes him and goes in for the kill. And just when Goku regrets his decision, Grandpa Gohan jumps in the way. Now Goku sees Grandpa Gohan with Roshi's hand through him, shielding him. Why? Goku asks, baffled. There's no set way the world works. Some choose to squash bugs, and some choose to kill those physically weaker than themselves. Then there's others who would give their life for a stranger without hesitation, Goku. We each can choose the path we think is right. Everything goes dark. Boy, have you learned something? Before Goku can even answer, he's looking up at himself, once again, as a bug, crawling across his own leg. The giant him lifts his hand, then Goku prepares for the worst. He's gently lifted and put down a little ways away. He looks up and sees himself smiling. Be careful, friend. It's a pretty dangerous world out there. Let's both live strong, okay? The giant Goku says to him. Suddenly, Goku's back in the cave, cold. Have you learned something, boy? Goku thinks of everything he's experienced up till now, and opens his mouth. Yes. What did you learn? The darkness asks. I want to see different ways to live in this world, and choose the one I feel is right. Remember your words. I'll try, Goku says. Very well. Goku now starts making his way out of the cave. Along the way, he thinks of his experience. Finally, he gets back to Korin's barrel and comes out. He sees everyone standing around him. You look cold. Here, Grandpa Gohan puts a warm blanket over Goku. Goku looks up at him and smiles. And a new adventure has been started. I hope you guys enjoyed part 2 of What If Goku Was Born with UI. Goku has started on his path of martial arts, where he'll listen to Roshi and Gohan now and train his mind, body, and spirit as he learns about himself and the world around him. At this point, he's more cooperative, and Gohan is able to hand down his martial arts to Goku. Roshi goes back to Kame House, and sadly, Grandpa Gohan still dies when Goku turns Uzaru. And Goku really isn't sure what to make of it, just like in the original series. But now he already knows of Korin, and his next meeting will be with a young girl named Bulma. Now in the original, Goku was curious because of his innocence, and he's still very much like that. He's still surprised to see a girl, and does all the same stuff to Bulma, but he now occasionally says some really deep philosophical things like, I'm on a journey to behold the good and evil that lies in the heart, and to figure out how to live, etc. Goku is very fascinated with his own free will. Whenever he gets violent urges, he imagines himself as that bug getting squashed, or how helpless he was in front of Roshi. The darkness Roshi, that is. And it helps him cool off. Grandpa Gohan also told him anger lies in the bosom of the weak, and that when he's strong, remember the times he was weak. And when he's weak, think of the reasons he has to be strong. All those things play in Goku's mind, and he's more excited than anything to keep training and finding out what these Dragon Balls are all about. Hey guys, no Jim needed here. If you enjoyed this, go on my channel and click playlists, and I have many more Dragon Ball what ifs, and it's just a good time. So I hope you all enjoy it, because I enjoy making them, and I'm trying to get back into doing this every single week, guys. So thank you for the support. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and leave some comments about what kind of what ifs you want to see, and I'll read them and reply. So until then, until next time, later.